Don't want to send you up, God.
What are we waiting on? Word. All right, so let's just be as quiet as we possibly can. We're going to open it up. Tim May, Letterman Row.
Yeah, Ryan, kind of a clunky start, but y'all only had the ball one time in the first quarter and stuff. But that little sequence that included the blocked punt seemed to change everything.
Yeah. We struggled getting off the field on third down, on that first drive. The first one, I think it was 3rd and 10, 11, or 12. It was 3rd and extra long. And they ran it for a first down and then converted on a couple of third downs. And then, we settled down a little bit. We went right down the field and then took a negative play on the first down. Thought we had the touchdown with Jeremiah, got called back, went into a pooch situation, and then they went down the field and scored. So they really controlled the first quarter of the game. I thought about taking the ball early in this game because I knew that that would be their plan, and decided to continue with what we've been doing. And I thought we did a nice job at the end of the first half, going into the third quarter, where that's very, very important to play that way. But like you said, a couple of those turnovers certainly helped us in the first half.
Over to the left, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, tough start for the defense. What turned it around for the defense?
Yeah, I just think we got off the field on third down. They only had 50 yards rushing, but we started getting off the field on third down, got some nice sacks. A couple of those third downs were third and extra longs, where one was a run, and the other one was just a bubble screen, and so that kind of continued some drives. But overall, I thought we settled down once those first couple of drives hit.
Austin Ward, the podcast.
You mentioned on Thursday, Carnell coming home,
Yeah.
the emotions of that, and to get him involved in the plays that he made. How special is that for really everybody?
Yeah. Carnell's not someone who talks about himself or really even want me talking about him right now and everything that he's been through. But we all know that he lost his mom, and he does not show that every day when he's here. And we say it all the time that the game doesn't care about what you've been through. When you cross that line, you go onto the field, the game doesn't really care, but we do. His teammates do, his coaches do, the people who know Carnell care a lot about him. And just the way that he's handled himself has just been an example to everybody. And, we care a lot about him, and to see him get 2 touchdown passes in his hometown in front of I think he had over 25 people here watching him. I know it means a lot to him, but it also means a lot to us. And, really happy for him today.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
It seemed like you guys were trying to push the ball down the field as much as possible today with Will Howard just to get him reps in. Just obviously you have looked at so many things just offhand. What do you think of the way he threw the ball today?
Yeah, I feel like there was some really good ones in there, and we pushed the ball down the field and got some of our playmakers the ball in space, which was great. I think there's other things that we got to do a little better job of, but we know that we want to have balance, and we want to stretch the field vertically and horizontally. And I felt like there were times we did that today. We'll watch the film, get on it, but I feel like when we have the combination of getting completions, throwing the ball down the field, and then there was a point there, I think it was the third quarter, maybe the beginning of the fourth, we started to run the ball and get downhill and started cracking the run game. And Chip did a nice job of staying with that, so I thought that was good. I thought the O-line made some adjustments on some of the things they were doing, and that's what we need to get done. So overall good. I would like to see us finish the fourth quarter better. But we did what we needed to do in this game.
Adam Rittenberg, ESPN.
Ryan, big picture, how has your defense responded from that Oregon game?
Yeah.
And what do they still need to do as you guys obviously face a really tough opponent again next week?
Yeah, we got some really big games ahead of us, and we know that. We want to be playing our best football in November. I've said that a million times. But I feel like we've done a better job of getting to the quarterback. I feel like we're playing better technically, fundamentally, and we have to continue to do that and understand situations. All the above. So. We'll get back in it. And each week it's a new season. What you've done in the past has nothing to do with what's going to happen moving forward, other than the fact that you've learned things, and you have to use those experiences to help you moving forward. But what really matters is what we do moving into this game next week.
Cameron T. Robinson, The Athletic.
Brian, you mentioned the run game. Northwestern's stopped a lot of people on the ground this year.
Yeah.
For you guys to do that, especially in the second half, and kind of let them down, how important is that?
They, like so many teams in the Big Ten, do such a great job against the run. I mean, they're gonna put a bunch of guys in the box, and that's why you saw us push the ball down the field, because when they're gonna put that many guys in the box, you got to stretch them vertically. And I thought Will did a nice job of when it wasn't there, checking it down and keeping us on rhythm on some of those plays, and that's good football. But we did make some adjustments there, and I thought we finally got that run game going. And the run game takes time at certain games, and we love to be hitting those 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe more runs, yard runs early in the game. But it takes a little time, and you got to make those adjustments. And I think Chip did a good job of coming back to some stuff that we did make adjustments on. Justin and the guys with the O-line. So there was some good things there overall. Yeah, again, we'll learn from it, we'll grow from it, and every week you got to keep getting better. So we'll do that in the in the film room tomorrow, and then move on to next week.
Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, it looks like you guys are rotating some of the cornerback. Jermaine was in there a decent amount. What went into the decision to do that more this week, and how do you think it went?
I think we did it. We did it last week too, and we'll continue to do that when we feel like it's appropriate to play depth. We've been trying to get that done. We're getting more and more guys reps the last couple of weeks. I think it's helped the overall morale of the team. I think it helps in practice. I think it helps with our depth. I think it's healthy for us. So we'll keep looking at it and make sure that we're doing it right, because we want our guys to be able to play their best in the fourth quarter and play their best at the end of the season.
Andy Anders, 11 Warriors.
Sonny Styles in this game, 2 sacks, 2 pass breakups. Just how have you seen him grow over the course of the season to be able to make plays in both the passing game, whether it's in coverage or coming downhill?
Yeah, we need Sonny to be, as productive as he was today. And when you can do it in man coverage, you can do it in zone coverage, you can blitz, you start to mix in all these different things you can do, then you just become more of a weapon. And you saw him get after the quarterback today. That's something that we've been working on, is some of the, the linebackers, DBs, everybody, blitzing a little bit better and more efficiently with some of the tools that they need. You don't just, run on a blitz and go sack a quarterback. There's a lot that goes with that. And there's a couple in the last few weeks where we've gone right by the quarterback, full speed, but have missed them. And so, we've tried to drill some of this work to make sure that we're doing a better job of avoiding the front line, the backers when they're, or the running backs when they're coming to protect us, but then also, doing a great job of getting the quarterback down when we get in the backfield. So good for him to see some of that work paying off, and again, we're going to need it more.
Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row.
Ryan, I know that you probably want to look at the film for this one, but to be on the other side of this 2-week stretch now and be able to get into those final
Right.
games that you know are big, how important was that to get through relatively healthy and just to be on the other side of this 2-game stretch?
Yeah, it's a lot of people ask me that going into the game. It's like, how do you stay focused on this, knowing there's other things down the road? But the truth is, like, you lose this game here, and you're out against in the Big Ten championship game. So we know that. We know that we got to be playing our best football in November. We want to be consistent in everything we do, because either we are or we aren't. And everything you do is hard in the Big Ten. You're not just going to walk in and think you're just going to, from the first snap on, roll your helmets out there and run the team out of the stadium. It doesn't work that way. And I think Coach Brown's doing a good job. I like the way his team plays. They're physical. They had 2 weeks to prepare. And it's the same thing with the team we're going to play next week. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. They've had a bye week coming into this, so they had a week to game plan us. Northwestern did. We're 2 weeks and a week to rest up. So we know we're going to get their best shot, and that's the way we want it. And I thought they did a nice job with some of the things they did early on. And I think he's a really good coach, and they have a good team. I think it's good to, like you said, kind of a business-like win. And now it's time to move on.
All right, we're going to wrap up here shortly, but Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, along those lines, you're 47-0 against unranked teams. Would you drill down into how that happens, how you got to that?
Well, I just think the consistency of each game, and if you're too, people kind of ask me that going into it too. It's like if you're extreme here, what happens? Eventually, you're going to come down this way, and so. I think that's something that I've really tried to learn during my time as a head coach is to be consistent and make it about the process, not about your opponent. Now you got to know everything about your opponent, and certainly some games are different than others, but it's about our process, and the coaching staff has embraced that. I think the leaders have embraced that, and so we have to continue with our process this week, and we got to get after these guys and make sure that they're having a great week of practice and preparation. But we're going to keep our routine the routine, and I believe that that's going to lead to consistency.
Real quick, did Wills anything different with his footwork? I mean, this was the most on target he was with the deep ball. Have you been working on that?
Yeah. Coach Kelly and all the guys in that room have been working hard on the footwork and making sure that it's timed up right. And I thought it was better this week, so we'll keep working on it.
Last question, Dave Holmes, WSYX.
I know you guys travel well as far as fans all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a split like that. I mean, it was almost a weird vibe when you have a 90% road crowd like that.
We expected to have a great presence, but to see the way it was today was exciting. We kind of felt it as the buses were kind of going around the stadium, and you're driving through Wrigleyville, and you just see all this this red and scarlet, and I mean the people were fired up early on. So you could tell they were just coming out of the bars after opening at like 7 a.m. and people were fired up, and so it kind of got us fired up too. But we said early on we wanted to give them something to get fired up about. But they were loud, even on third down. So great to see Buckeye Nation, traveling like this. And I even looked up and saw the stands from across the street, just like red up there. And I'm just thinking, like, we just really appreciate, them supporting us in an environment like this. But a great venue to play something like this in a historic stadium like Wrigley. And glad to see them enjoy an afternoon here in Chicago.
Great. Coach, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thanks, Ryan.